Aid and support pouring into Venezuela from all across the world after twin earthquakes struck the South American country's northern coast. The tremors have killed at least 164 people, injuring almost 1,000 others. A state of emergency is in effect. The magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 quakes struck less than a minute apart, hitting areas west of the capital yesterday evening. They triggered panic and chaos, bringing down buildings and sending people pouring into the streets. The twin tremors are among the strongest to strike Venezuela in more than a century and could be felt throughout the region.
Paredes agrietadas, pudimos abrir la puerta como pudimos, una nube de humo que no nos dejaba ver y bueno, cuando bajamos el escenario era de película de terror. Tuvimos que subir por encima de los escombros y todo, la conserje con la bebé y todos los vecinos bajando, pero los de este edificio solo he podido ver que han salido una familia.
Emergency crews as well as locals are scrambling to look for survivors. As you watch the live pictures here, know that there are fears that the death toll will jump. The U.S. Geological Survey suggests a 44% chance of more than 10,000 fatalities. The country's main airport in Caracas has been closed due to damage. Classes have been suspended for several days. Some schools will be used as shelters and donation centers. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump pledged to send aid as soon as possible. China also standing ready to send whatever was needed. Japan offering condolences as well. The East Asian nation was also struck by an earthquake this morning, escaping with no major damage. Latin American governments were quick to offer solidarity and help, many of them saying they will support all recovery efforts. Allister D'Souza tracking that story for CNA from Washington, D.C. Allister, as we look at those pictures right there, the U.S. quick to offer its support. What kind of support is forthcoming to address the damage that we've just seen?
Heartbreaking images indeed, Jill. Now President Trump posting on social media saying that the U.S. stands ready, willing and able to help. The president says he had instructed all of his government agencies to prepare to move quickly as he called Venezuela's people new and great friends. Now posting on X, Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying the U.S. was immediately deploying search and rescue teams, medical resources and humanitarian assistance. According to the U.S. State Department, the U.S. has already been able to mobilize some of this, a disaster assistance team and state task forces as well, to help with a whole host of things like rescue teams, medical supplies and humanitarian resources as well. Now, all of this happening so swiftly, of course, after the Trump administration's warmer ties with Venezuela. It shows really this diplomatic realignment between the Trump administration and the Venezuelan interim government. Remember, in January, we had this military intervention by the U.S. that saw the country's then president, Nicolas Maduro, removed, adding to these changing ties now under the new interim leader, Delcy Rodriguez. Now, in a video message posted on X on Thursday morning, Rodriguez thanking President Trump and the administration for providing what she said, quote, support and solidarity. Separately, Rodriguez also saying that China and Brazil have sent humanitarian aid to the country and that Qatar, the government of Qatar, they're providing also resources that is set to arrive on Thursday.
Now, Allister, the twin quakes are affecting what's already a very hurt, very weak economy. How could this impact the country next?
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, this is the largest quake to hit Venezuela in more than 100 years. Now, the U.S. government agency that monitors these earthquakes saying that losses could reach billions and even tens of billions of dollars. Even worse, the agency is forecasting another earthquake in the same region of at least a magnitude of 5 or even higher possibly. So we could see further damage, with Venezuela having to deal with more losses of property and life, of course, and infrastructure. For years now, as you might know, Venezuela has been grappling with crushing economic turmoil that has seen millions of people flee the country to escape poverty amid the collapse of the oil industry with those U.S. sanctions. Now, acting President Delcy Rodriguez has been courting foreign oil companies and seeking sanctions relief. The U.S. has eased some restrictions, with crude production gradually increasing, but inflation really remains high, and ordinary Venezuelans continue to struggle with extremely low wages. So big concerns remain on how the country will pay for all the damaged infrastructure. You could see the healthcare system getting overwhelmed with the number of injuries that are just expected to rise continuously. Now, the Financial Times, interestingly, just recently reporting that the country is staring at a $240 billion debt pile, much higher than previously thought. So all of this expected to add to the economic woes of Venezuela at this time when its economy already seems so extremely fragile.
Thank you for keeping an eye on that situation. Allister D'Souza reporting for CNA Live from Washington, D.C.